Remember that big gang bust in Desert Hot Springs? Well, we chatted recently with Riverside County District Attorney Ron Pacheco about how they put together that huge multi-agency operation.
We started last August when we put a team together, and that team was put together as a result of a meeting I had with the city manager of Desert Hot Springs and the chief of police. City manager's name is Rick Daniels, does a fantastic job for DHS, and then the chief of police is Pat Williams. We had a great meeting here in this very office, and then we followed it up with another meeting after we put together a proposal from the district attorney's office about how best to attack the gang problem and the parolee problem in DHS. That began the investigation. We had a team, as I said, that put together an operation that was finalized on March 27th. On March 27th, 35 different agencies came together for a total of 682 law enforcement officers and probably about another 20 to 30 support personnel besides that, forensic technicians, evidence technicians, things like that. We hit Desert Hot Springs at 7 a.m. and contacted and arrested some of 450, well, we contacted 452 locations with gang members, and then we arrested well over 120 gang members and other folks. This was the largest such operation in the history of our county. It was also the most comprehensive. We had federal agencies, ICE, FBI was particularly important. Also HUD, Housing Urban Development, which is kind of an unusual addition that we requested. They actually found a lab, methamphetamine lab, in one of the houses in their service of a warrant. And I got there about 4:15 a.m., a little early, but everybody gets there about 4 to 5 o'clock, and then we proceeded from there. We did a couple of briefings, and then everybody went out around 6 and set up for, hitting the houses at about 7.
You can imagine the impact that huge bust will have on crime in Desert Hot Springs.
I had received information about Desert Hot Springs, of which I wasn't familiar with, quite frankly, before then. And I had gotten this information from one of the residents there. I started to get more information about Desert Hot Springs and found that it was had the highest crime rate probably in the last 20 years in our county. It's plagued with gang members and parolees. And I had all that information in my head when Rick Daniels and the chief came to see me and asked to do a gang injunction. That was how it started. They requested we do a gang injunction. It seemed appropriate we do that on West Drive Locos, which we have, but it also seemed that, it wasn't enough. The problem was bigger than one little gang, and we needed to hit all the gang members. And so I came back, drafted it with our Bureau of Investigations, which was the backbone of the operation, and then went back with Rick and Chief Williams and went through all the things that we could do and asked them if they wanted to participate. They were enthusiastic about their participation, and then we reached out to the Sheriff's Department, the Probation Department, the FBI, ICE, the police departments, you name it. I mean, we reached out to all kinds of folks and put together a team that investigated and solved a number of crimes since last August.
So, Mr. DA, how pervasive is this gang problem in Riverside County, in the United States, in the world? And what about this gang called MS-13?
MS-13 is a gang that actually started in Los Angeles, and then when some of those members were deported back down to El Salvador, they started the gang up there. That gang now exists in many cities, including and counties, including Riverside County, throughout the nation and throughout many foreign countries. It has over 100,000 members. Just that one gang has its own website. It has, like you were saying, their own structures, leadership. They're incredibly violent and heavily involved in the drug trade. It's an enormous problem we're also starting to see from the drug cartels out of Mexico. City of Phoenix in the United States has the largest kidnapping rate of any major city in the United States. So the scope of the problem is enormous, but potentially could be worse. Riverside County was faced with that same situation a few years ago. Los Angeles County is close by and to the west, has close to 100,000 gang members. We could easily fall in victim to those gangs and the proliferation of gangs. If it hadn't been for the Gang Task Force and all the agencies working together on many projects, large and small, then I think we would have been overrun.
Riverside County District Attorney Rod Pacheco talking about gang suppression efforts. On the other hand,
In every city in this county, and in the county itself, there are more gang members than police officers. That itself should be a frightening statistic. And it's usually anywhere from 3, 4, 5 to 1.